Welcome to the September 4th meeting of the Orlando City Council. We're going to begin today with the invocation offered by Pastor Alex Clattenburg of Church in the Sun. Before joining the ministry, Pastor Clattenburg's early days in Orlando were spent negotiating real estate deals. In the 70s, he began building a youth ministry known as the Rock House from the Assembly of God congregation. In the late 70s and early 80s, he helped to bring Jesus festivals to Central Florida, drawing as many as 30,000 young people to an open field near Disney World. For 8 years, he served as pastor of the Rock House, and in 81 began serving as pastor at Calvary Assembly of God. In 87, under his leadership, the Calvary Assembly Church of God was built to seat as many as 6,000 people in a single service. In 1990, he and a number of former members of Calvary Assembly formed Church in the Sun, and he has been the lead minister there, and they are celebrating 28 years of ministry. After the invocation, we'll have the Pledge of Allegiance led by Commissioner Stewart.
It's an honor to be with you, Mayor, Commissioners, in your new chambers. Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for your goodness and your greatness. Thank you that we can come here on this day and offer a sincere prayer for our mayor and each of the commissioners. We thank you for their dedication and their commitment to the work that is before them. We do not offer platitudes, but we offer our hearts, recognizing that we are in need of you. We remember the words of King David when he said, "God is my refuge and strength, always ready to help in the time of trouble." We sincerely need your wisdom and your understanding and your knowledge. And may we have the same attitude of Abraham Lincoln when he said, "I'm not so concerned that God is on my side, but that I am on his side." May we always be on your side. And in this beautiful chamber, we ask, Lord, that your presence would be here. Love would always be among us, and that great things will happen today. We ask this now in the glorious and wonderful name of Jesus. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Pastor. Okay, Madam Clerk, I'm going to call the meeting to order, and would you call the roll, please, and make a determination of quorum?
Commissioner Gray. Here. Commissioner Ortiz.
Here.
Commissioner Stewart.
Here.
Commissioner Sheehan.
Here.
Here. Commissioner Hill. Commissioner Ings.
Commissioner Ings is here.
Mayor Dyer.
Here.
Mayor, you have a quorum with all members present.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Let's take up the minutes from the workshop agenda review and City Council meeting of August the 20th, 2018. Motion by Commissioner Sheehan, Commissioner Ortiz. I'm taking that as a second. All in favor of the motion indicate so by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed?
I'm not
sure.
I'm not sure either.
And so the motion passes. So we're in our first meeting back in our renovated chamber, so we're still getting used to the microphones and the view from up here, but I want to thank our staff who worked really hard, especially over the last several weeks, to make sure that we were able to be accommodated in the chambers today. There was a lot of work that was done on weekends and late at night, but I think it looks pretty good in here, and we still have some technology that's going to continue to be upgraded, but we made energy efficiency improvements, improved acoustics, lighting. There are also outlets at every member of the public's chairs that don't work right now. But that's because we can't actually hook them up. The last floor that's being renovated is one. You probably all came over on two, I guess, to get into the chambers, but we have to do the electrical or the connections from underneath, so we can't finish that up until we finish number one downstairs. So anyways, let's give staff a hand for getting this done. Okay, I want to acknowledge the passing of somebody that was very important to our city family for over 3-4 decades, I guess, and that's Randall James. Randall was the chief of staff to 3 different mayors, and really he was chief of staff informally to more mayors than that, because he certainly gave me a lot of advice, and I say that with a little bit of a chuckle, but it was always good advice, it was sincere advice, and he would tell me every time he saw me that he prayed for me by name every day, and I think there was a long list of people that he prayed for every single day. He was at death's door, I don't know how many times during the course of his life, and always came through and was really a superhero to a lot of people. He'll be missed. His services is this coming Saturday at 11, but why don't we just take a moment of silence to remember Randall. Thank you. Venues were busy this week. Between Beyonce and Jay-Z, and then Alabama and Louisville, we had over 100,000 people attend 2 events at the Camping World Stadium. And I want to say thanks to our staff and to Florida Citrus Sports. Jay-Z and Beyonce were there on Wednesday night, and then the football game was Saturday night. So there's a big transition going from a concert with all the plywood over the field, and they'd already painted the emblems on the field. I thought they were going to surprise us and have UCF underneath there, but I was out of town, but I understand there was a banner plane that might have been announcing the fact that we think there was a second national champion here in Orlando. But congratulations to our staff and Florida Citrus Sports on 2 great events. I also want to invite you to join Commissioner Ortiz and I as we kick off Hispanic Heritage Month on Wednesday, September the 12th, and the month runs from the 15th of September through the 15th of October and recognizes the culture and traditions of U.S. residents who trace their roots to Spain, Mexico, and the Spanish-speaking nations in Central America, South America, and the Caribbean. So I think Commissioner Ortiz will be singing there or something like that. So please come join us. And actually, we're at Lou Gardens this year instead of the Rotunda, since the Rotunda is under construction. Okay, and just a couple items of note that I would like to point out on the agenda, and that's some small business facade, site improvement and adaptive reuse program awards that we're making. One to the Ivanhoe Park Brewing Company, another to Sportstown Billiards. It's always nice when we can help these great small businesses that are creating jobs enhance their properties. And then probably the biggest item is our commitment to Lake Lorna Doone and our partnership with Florida Citrus Sports, $8 million renovation in partnership between the city and Florida Citrus Sports. And I won't steal all Commissioner Hill's thunder. I'll let her talk a little bit more about that. So with that, we'll move on to the consent agenda. Actually, you know what, Steve, why don't you have everybody that's with your group that's part of that stand up today. All right, West Lakes. All right, we will move on to the consent agenda, and that's a number of items that are worked on or that are voted on through a single vote of council. We give members of the council an opportunity to comment on items from the consent agenda and update you on important things that are happening in their districts. We rotate the order that we do that, and today Commissioner Stewart is first up.
Thank you, Mayor. Let me also echo your comments about Randall James. I had a chance to get to know Randall years ago. Was serving Mayor Hood and Mayor Frederick, and he was a dear friend of my brother Jacobs, who kind of moved as chief of staff and police together. Had a chance to visit with Randall before his passing. I know you did too, Mayor. I know it meant a great deal to him and a great deal to his family to be a chance to be there and recognize him for what he's done while he is still here. So, the funeral is the 15th, not this Saturday, but the 15th.
Oh, did I have that wrong?
Yeah, so September 15th at 11 o'clock.
Oh, you're right. You're right.
So,
You're right.
So those who would like to attend us over at First Baptist Church, please get a chance to come out. Let me share a couple of things. I had a chance to go over to look at the fairy gardens yesterday for the first time. Some of you on my Facebook had a chance to see me and my grandchildren out there looking at the fairy gardens. If you had a chance to do that, please go see it. It is a lot of fun. It has been one of the more successful events that we did over there. Appreciate the work from Robert Bowden and our marketing director over there, as our membership director, I should say, over there. It's just been really a lot of fun, and it was great seeing a bunch of kids. We had, when I left in the afternoon, we had about 1,700 people that had shown up during the course of the day. And on a great day, we would do 2,500, and so we thought we may be able to get that in the middle of a rainstorm. So that's how popular it's been. So if you get a chance to go over there, I think it goes through the end of September, if I'm not mistaken. A couple of quick things coming up, and I've got a few comments on the agenda. Lou Gardens is having their monthly movie night this Friday night, February 7th. So get more information at lougardens.org. First Friday Festivals at Baldwin Park, and it's going to be along New Broad Street again at 5:30 to 9:30 this Friday. And then this Monday coming up, September 10th, the College Park Neighborhood Association will have their monthly meeting at 7 o'clock over at the College Park Neighborhood Center. I'll be doing an update, but also on the 13th, the same week, Pie Restaurant will be offering, having their monthly social for the CP&A. And then on September 15th, I'll have the opportunity to host the Mexican Independence Day. Thinking about you, Commissioner Ortiz, from 9 to midnight over at the Gaston Edwards Park with Mesa and a couple other restaurants over there. So get a chance, please come over. It'll be a lot of fun. One item I want to mention on the consent agenda first is C6, the facade agreement. Thank you, Mayor, for mentioning that. I recognize Glenn Clausen here, Glenn from Joyland, and upcoming the Robert's Red Ale, right, Glenn? Just making sure. Just making sure. After Buddy's Brew, I want to get Robert's Red Ale out there. So thank you, Glenn, for what you do, and the other two. We appreciate the facade grant is one thing that we have continue to fight for, because it really has an incredible impact on small business, and we appreciate you, Mayor, championing that as well. And then the other is the Lake Loner Dune. Steve, thank you for your leadership. There he is back in the back. Thank you for your leadership as well. I think is a great way to do partnership, and I'm really excited about seeing that happen over there. And I've looked at that area over there for 60 years. And seeing it now become a more integral part of our community is really, really important to us and to where we want to go as a community. So congratulations to Lift Orlando, congratulations to Florida Central Sports, and to the neighbors that are part of that process. So, and that's all that I have, Mayor. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Commissioner. We'll move to Commissioner Sheehan.
Well, thank you, Mayor. And Randall James and I could not have been more different politically. But what was really great about him was that he would always find something that you had in common to talk about. And he'd always talk to me about the swans and at Lake Eola Park and how they were doing. And after the Pulse Massacre, First Baptist Church embraced those families and welcomed them. And he was a part of that. And I will always remember that and respect that. And it's a tremendous loss to us. He was a person that always served behind the scenes, but he did so admirably, and it's a tremendous loss to our community. On the agenda today, I want to thank McCoy Federal Credit Union for sponsoring the Historic Preservation Calendar, which is something very near and dear to my heart. And this year it's the Historic Landscape and Streetscape features, so the photographers can start getting to work on that. I'm delighted to see the Sportstown Billiards Facade Grant. I mean, I got to tell you, sometimes these facade grants come forward and it's just like a sign or something lame. I hate to say it, but they're not always fabulous. This one is so great, and it's going to be a wonderful amenity in the Milk. You already are a wonderful amenity in the Milk District, but this is really going to make your facade pop, and I can't wait to see see it completed, and I can't wait to come cut that ribbon because it's just a wonderful place. Actually, in Commissioner Hill's district, the Lake Lorna Dune Park improvements, wow, that's really fabulous, Commissioner. Congratulations to you. And I think this is really going to look amazing. And I'm also glad to see on the agenda today also item J2, the pedestrian signal improvements through downtown and SoDo. Very, very important to get those pedestrian signals improved. So thank you to transportation staff for working on that. That's all I had, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. And we'll move to Commissioner Hill.
Thank you, Mayor. Good afternoon. On 8/22, myself and Mayor Dyer went over in the Paramore area where there's a lot of economic development happening and cut the ribbon of Chloe Lane and Baldry. And that is a minority-owned business. 3 women actually moved from Winter Park. Very productive area there to move to Paramore to help improve jobs and opportunities there. On 8/23, thank you, Housing, Economic Development. We were over in Commissioner Ings' neck of the woods and at Mount Sinai Community Church, in which soon there's some dilapidated apartments that the city acquired across the street from Pandanas. That demo was starting in the next few weeks. And we spoke with the homeowners in that area to see what they would like to see at that facility. Majority spoke about townhomes, so we'll see how that goes. On 8/31, myself and Mayor Dyer and Commissioner Ortiz, thank you for coming out, Commissioner Ortiz. We cut the ribbon, or broke ground actually, dirt is being moved as we speak, over in Paramore Oaks, where there will be about 221 mixed income units there. And I forget the name. Walter, Thomas, could you help me with the name of the? No, Paramore Oaks, but the contractor, the developer. Invictus. How could I forget? So Invictus, they're doing a great job over there. They have engaged the community. They will be using folk from the community to help the contractors build that. It's very exciting. I think when it comes to affordable housing, the city of Orlando has made a great investment, and I think we are leading Central Florida when it comes to creating affordable housing. So thank you, Council, and thank you, Mayor, for your support in District 5 when it comes to affordable housing. On the agenda today, we have the B1, which is a joint use agreement with OCPS at our Rock Lake facility there in the West Lakes of Orlando, where we will be utilizing many of their classroom spaces, their cafeteria, and library. Thank you, Lisa, for your leadership and the team, and legal for making sure that we were included, the community was included with that joint use. And of course, what everyone's speaking about is D1, the Florida Citrus Sports Lake Lorna Dune improvement. Thank you, Steve Hogan. Thank you also, Polis Institute. Most of all, thank the residents there, and Doug, I know you were there at the beginning of it all, Tangela and Margaret. This is a community-driven project. Make sure about that. This isn't a city-driven project. We have sat with the community for the last 3 years on what did they want to see Lake Lorna Dune look like. There was multiple charrettes, at least 20 or so charrettes that had taken place, and they came up with the concept of a splash pad, a fountain in the middle of Lake Lorna Dune, making sure that there are ADA equipment for those that were disabled, especially when it came to young adults. We made sure that the seniors wasn't left out, that there was equipment around the lake so that seniors could participate in. There's a community garden, so health and wellness and fitness, but more so that being a community gathering space. Many know for decades old, that has been a community gathering space for those on the west side of Lake Lorna Dune. Many times you all came and said you wanted Lake Lorna Dune to be the jewel of the west side, and I do believe with this $5 million plus the $3 million investment of this public-private partnership, It will be one desired throughout, not just the city, but the county, and also for tourism. Many people come from around the nation to Florida, Camp World Stadium. And so that will be a hub where the community and the nation, I think, gather. And I'm just really, really, really proud. And I'd like to say thank you, Mayor Dyer. When I came to you and we were trying to figure out where these funds were, the residents was crying out and said, what about us, what about us? And you went out and found $5 million for us to get this job done. And thank you, council, for, I haven't gotten the vote yet, but I'm depending on you all with this.
No pressure.
No pressure. To support this effort. So with that being said, I'm just so excited that we are now getting a park there that all will be proud of throughout the city of Orlando. September the 7th, we have National Night Out. I'll be joining Chief Mina and Chief Williams there at Tinkerfield. We'll be able to highlight the work that we have already done there at Tinkerfield. So I'm inviting all out. It will be a District 5 kickoff for National Night Out in October. And you're invited also, Commissioner. And with that, that's all I have.
Thank you, Commissioner Hill. We'll move on to District 6, Commissioner Ings.
Thank you, Mayor. And it was truly a surprise to me when you announced Randall James passing. I had no earthly idea that that had occurred. But, you know, I want to express my condolences to the First Baptist Church, Randall's family, and also OPD, because Randall was a part of OPD. He was transferred over to City Hall to serve in the mayor's office as a police liaison, and later it was promoted to lieutenant and also served as the chief of staff. And so Randall was loved by many and really appreciated by so many too, and I really am sorry to hear that he had passed. Also, this past week I was in Detroit along with my wife, June, and Stevie Wonder says, "Detroit loves you," and this was to Aretha Franklin during her funeral service. But June and I had an opportunity to view Aretha's body 3 times, 2 at the John H. Wright African American Museum. On that Tuesday night, Aretha was dressed in red with red shoes, legs crossed, full casket opening, and after that public viewing, and the lines were long, sometimes around three blocks long, people got in line to see and view Aretha. And so that was a great experience on that day. And on Wednesday, we made it to the African American Museum again to view Aretha, and she was laid and wait there, and she was wearing a light blue gown then at that time. And then on Thursday, we viewed Aretha at her father's church, New Bethel Missionary Baptist Church. And Aretha was laid in a gold outfit, a gold gown at that particular time. So, in all of the instances, her legs were crossed. And then on Friday at the funeral, we did not attend the funeral. We actually attended a funeral, Aretha Franklin funeral repast at June's sister house, and we had food catered in. But at the funeral, she was dressed in white. The funeral was held at Greater Grace Temple with Bishop Charles Ellis III. We visited Bishop Ellis on Wednesday to take a look at the inside of the church and to speak with him. And he also spoke about his participation in my Red Tie Celebrity Golf event in 2011. He remembered that event that was held at Shingle Creek. And at the funeral, of course, you know, there were many stars that were there. It was star-studded. And President Clinton said that he could not wait to get to the church for the funeral because he couldn't wait to see what Aretha, the Queen of Soul, would be wearing on the funeral day. So that was really good from that perspective because it showed the human side of Aretha, and Aretha was very down to earth. And I see Bishop Newton here in the audience, and Bishop Ellis is a part of his apostolic church organization. And but Aretha was very down to earth, and even she gave concerts, free concerts to the whole entire community, so they filled up her father's church. And she also fed the people, and June and I had an opportunity to attend one of those concerts. Shirley Caesar and the Williams brothers and Dottie Peoples and Carlton Pearson were all on hand to give concerts for these people free. And for the dinner, we had spaghetti and fish. And Aretha was good at oxtail soup, and so she also had that available too. So we're gonna obviously miss Aretha. The bishop's wife, Chrisette, she's a member of the Mary Kay, and so they had over 30 pink Cadillacs lining the street there, 7 Mile, so that the funeral procession could go through. And it just shows the kind of community support and love that everyone had for Aretha Franklin. And now on the agenda, item F1, the home agreement between the City of Orlando and West Lakes Phase 2 and Lift Orlando for the Pendana at West Lakes Senior Residences. This particular home loan agreement is in the total amount of $1,050,000, and this will help move Phase 2 West Lakes Senior Residences forward. The city had already committed to support $800,000, which helped Lyft get its tax credits, and now they were about $250,000 short because of increase in construction costs. So the city helped them with that to fill the gap, and thus the total amount is $1,050,000. But I want to thank Sandy Hostetter, who's here, as well as Tim Ayers and Eddie Martin. Would y'all stand and be recognized? Thank you for what you've done to make this happen. And I just really feel good because this is for seniors. And this is an opportunity for seniors to really be in a place where they're going to feel comfortable, relaxed, and just feel like it is their home. So this is really going to be great. And also Linda Ryan Smith, I want to thank you, and Orrin Henry, I want to thank you as well for the work that y'all have done in helping with this particular project. And then item H2, the 2018-2019 School Resource Officer Program Agreement. And I do want to say this, Chief Mena, and that is after 12 years of advocating and asking for one OPD school officer to be assigned for each elementary school in the city of Orlando, today is a dream come true. And that's so important because in the past we've had one school resource officer for the elementary school that was assigned to 4 or 5 elementary schools, and we just know that that was not providing adequate security for those schools. But now we're at this particular point in time where all of the elementary schools in the city of Orlando will be covered, will be protected, and I am just so happy that that's occurring. I would also like to mention that Legends Academy and Nat Ford Community School have started their school year, and they have 415 students that are there at Legends and Nat Ford Community School, and they have 35 students that are on the waiting list. So something good is happening at Legends Academy and Nat Ford Community School, and I would like to make this announcement, and that is that they need an art teacher. The art teacher that they had left and went to Harlem, New York to get a job with the Sean P. Diddy Combs School of Art. And so obviously we couldn't hold her back for something like that. And that's a great testament to the quality of teachers and students that we have at Legends Academy and Nat Ford Community School. And for those that are looking for an art teaching position, I would say please reach out and contact Dr. Jennifer Porter Smith, and her phone number is 407-245-8767. That's 407-245-8767, and that's at the school's administrative office. And the last thing I have on my notes here is on Friday, September 7th, I'm hosting my 8th annual Red Tie Celebrity Golf Extravaganza at the pristine Rosen Shingle Creek Golf Club. Our shotgun is at 8 a.m. Guest speakers will be Rosie Moore of the Gift of Life Foundation. And the Gift of Life offers hope, encouragement, and support to parents of premature babies in the neonatal intensive care. Rosie also represented the state of Michigan in the Mrs. International Pageant system. Although she is from Florida, she chose to represent Michigan because 9.3% of babies born there come from as preemies. In one Michigan county, the rate is 13.3%, and that's alarming. Fighting for the cause of families of preemies is what made her join the international pageant system. Our next speaker will be N.Y. Nathiri. She's the executive director of the Association to Preserve the Eatonville Community and also the Zora Festival in Eatonville. Also at this event, during our awards luncheon, we will honor Bo Jarrell, who is a former Tampa Bay Bucks who passed away last year prior to the Red Tie event. And so we are certainly going to miss him because he was there from the very beginning at our golf extravaganza. So we're expecting Barry Wagner, Chicago Bears, William Floyd, Super Bowl, San Francisco 49ers, Ricky Shaw, New York Giants, James Jones, Detroit Lions, Aaron Jones, Pittsburgh Steelers, Chris Leak, Gator National Champions and Chicago Bears, and Corin Evans and Darryl Talley, Buffalo Bills, James Harrell, Detroit Lions, Kevin House, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Reggie Branch, Washington Redskins, Sam Barrington, Green Bay Packers, Walter Cotter, Oakland Raiders, Bo Outlaw, Orlando Magic, Rob Samuels, and the Philadelphia Eagles, and Mayor Buddy Dyer?
No.
Is he on this list? Oh, we would love to have you, though. Thank you, Mayor. That's all I have.
All right. Move on to Commissioner Gray.
Okay, here we go. Two events in the community I'd like to highlight. On the 24th of August, I spoke at the Lake Nona Chamber. A lot of folks interested about our expansion of Narcoossee Road, so I want to thank them for their hospitality. It was great to spend time with neighbors. Also yesterday, in Loria Park in Lake Nona, we had a bike parade for the kids. The neat part wasn't the bike parade, although that was pretty cool. It's the fact that a lot of the kids there knew the two officers that were escorts by name. And if that's not community policing, I don't know what is. So, gentlemen, thank you for your efforts back there. That was well received. On the agenda, to echo Commissioner Ng's comments. Given the fact that we had limited time and tried to find resources for a school office resource officer program, I want to congratulate the staff for working with OCPS. I think it's a good agreement given the time we had and kind of buy some time so we can work with them to come up with more of a longer term solution. But well done. I think that was a good agreement. So that's all I have.
I was worried. I thought you were going to echo all his comments.
I'll tell you one other thing off with this.
All right, Commissioner Ortiz.
Do we have any time left? Just kidding. I want to echo the feelings of my fellow commissioners and the mayor and send my condolences to the family and friends of Randall James. He was indeed an officer and a gentleman. So our condolences, families and friends are in our prayers. Commissioner, congratulations, Commissioner Hill, on improvements to Lake Lorna Dune. I remember, and I know the chief and deputy chiefs that are sitting over there, we remember the days when we used to go and work at Lake Lorna Dune, do patrolling and whatnot, and it's been a great change, and I love to see what you guys are doing. It's awesome. Seeing the community move ahead and evolving is great. So thank you all so much for what you're doing, the staff and everybody who has worked so hard, Mayor, for making sure that these things do happen, and for your initiative on this. Recently, I received a summary of constitutional amendments certified for the 2018 ballot from the Florida League of Cities, about 13 new amendments. We have them out there on our Facebook page, on our Twitter. These are amendments that each and every one of our citizens should take a look at. They're very important, each one of them. So the amendments are out there. There's pros and cons the way we're presenting them out there is for people to analyze them and see how this is going to be good for our community. So please, please, please take the time to look into these 13 amendments. It's very important in terms of our future. On Friday, August 10th, we visited business in District 2 with Sherry Gotch, Lisa Raines from Economic Development, along with the director of Gateway Orlando, Miguel Guinard. And it was great to see how much our district has changed. Beautiful. But I'm even more excited about what the future holds for our district. So thank you, Sherry, and thank you for the team, for everybody to work together. Our staff, once again, Mayor, Commissioners, for supporting us in our efforts to move our district ahead. I'd like to bring attention to the death of Senator John McCain. Nobody has talked about it, and extend not only our condolences to the family of a veteran whose sacrifices for this country should never be forgotten. Putting politics aside, he was a great veteran. And we should always hold those at a high esteem who have taken the time to defend this nation, especially to the level he did, sacrificing himself, being a POW, and everything else. And we're visiting District 3. You see, even though we're from District 2, we like to visit other districts. We're just District 5. Now we're going to District 3 for the kickoff of the Hispanic Heritage Month at Lou Gardens. It's not that we don't have a place like that at District 2. We have great places in District 2, but we want to share our wealth. So, I think it's going to be a great event for those of you that are seeing the growth of the Hispanic community. I would invite you guys to come over and have a good time and see how our cultures come together, and do some salsa music, eat some rice and beans or whatnot. So get used to that. You said it. And if you can make it out there, give me a call. We can do it in my district any other time. So, and once again, I want to thank staff for everything you guys do. Looking at this, at our new setting over here, this is a great job, and I think it's going to be a lot more comfortable for everybody. And this is seeing the technology, the way it's implemented, is neat. And I know, Mayor, you have now 2 screens over there. You're going to be busy. But this is neat, and this is, once again, is a result of a community working together. So thank you. With that being said, move to approve the agenda, Mayor.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Ortiz, second by Commissioner Stewart. All in favor of the motion indicate so by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed? So the motion carries.
Go around to also lift.
Yeah. Okay, this would be the point where people that came for the consent agenda that want to escape the rest of the meeting can do so quietly and quickly.
Acoustics, we can hear them.
Okay, without objection, we'll recess the city council meeting and we'll convene the CRA meeting for the purpose of doing the budget. Thomas?
Thank you, and good afternoon, Mayor and Commissioners. As the Mayor says, the sole item before the CRA today is your fiscal year 2018-2019 budget and budget resolution. The advisory board has recommended and staff is requesting approval of the FY 18-19 CRA budget, adoption of the resolution, and authorization for the chair and the executive director to execute the resolution.
All right, is there a motion to adopt?
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Sheehan, second by Commissioner Hill. Discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion indicate so by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, motion carries. For the business, Thomas?
There's none, Mayor. Thank you.
The CRA will stand adjourned and we will reconvene the city council meeting. I actually see a couple people that I don't recognize. Do we have students in the house today? Yes? If you're a student and you're here on assignment to learn how local government works, please stand up and let us acknowledge you. Okay, I was wrong, just one. Okay, let's, we don't have any new business, so we are right into hearings, ordinances on second reading, number 1, Madam Clerk.
Ordinance 2018-42, an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Orlando, Florida, amending the city's adopted growth management plan to change the future land use map designation for approximately 10.94 acres of land, generally located west of Narcoossee Road, north of Boggy Creek Road, and east of Golden Sunburst Avenue, from neighborhood activity center to mixed-use corridor, medium intensity on the city's official future land use map, providing for severability and correction of Scrivener's errors and an effective date.
Move to adopt. Second.
Motion by Commissioner Gray, second by Commissioner Stewart. Is there anyone from the public that would like to testify relating to this matter? Discussion among commissioners. Hearing none, all in favor of the motion indicate so by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, motion carries. Number 2, Madam Clerk.
Ordinance 2018-44, an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Orlando, Florida, relating to accessory dwelling units, townhomes, and multifamily housing, amending Chapter 5 Orlando City Code to provide consistent terminology, amending Chapters 58, 61, 62, 65, 67, and 66 and 67 Land Development Code to allow accessory dwelling units and townhomes as a permitted use with appearance review in certain zoning districts, to provide design, development, appearance review, and building site standards for accessory dwelling units, townhomes, multiplex, and multifamily development, and to update definitions and provide consistent terminology, providing legislative findings on severability, codification, correction of Scrivener's errors, and an effective date.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Sheehan, second by Commissioner Stewart. Is there anyone from the public that would like to testify on this matter? Discussion among commissioners. Hearing none, all in favor of the motion indicate so by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, motion carries. Number 3.
Ordinance 2018-47, an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Orlando, Florida, rezoning certain land generally located northwest of the intersection of Narcoossee Road and Boggy Creek Road and comprised of 10.9 acres of land, more or less, from AC-N/AN Neighborhood and Activity Center with the Aircraft Noise Overlay District to Plan Development with the Aircraft Noise Overlay District, providing a development plan and special land development regulations of the Plan Development District, providing for severability, correction of Scrivener's errors, permit disclaimer, and an effective date.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Gray, second by Commissioner Ortiz. Is there anyone from the public that would like to testify on this matter? Discussion among commissioners. Hearing none, all in favor of the motion indicate so by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, motion carries. And number 4.
Ordinance 2018-48, an ordinance of the City of Orlando, Florida, granting a petition to expand the boundaries of the Randall Park Community Development District as initiated by the District's Board of Supervisors, amending ordinance number 2015-60 to expand the external boundaries of the Randall Park Community Development District, which is generally located at the southwest corner of the intersection of the Central Florida Greenway, State Road 417, and the Beach Line, State Road 528, in accordance with said petition, providing for severability, correction of Scrivener's errors, and an effective date.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Gray, second by Commissioner Ortiz. Is there anyone from the public that would like to testify on this matter? Discussion among commissioners. Hearing none, all in favor of the motion indicate so by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed, motion carries. All right, ordinances on first reading. Number 1.
Ordinance 2018-49, an ordinance of the City of Orlando granting JJ's Waste and Recycling, LLC, a non-exclusive franchise to provide roll-off container collection and disposal of solid waste within the City of Orlando, outlining franchisees' duties and providing the terms and conditions under which such franchisee shall operate, providing for severability and an effective date.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Ortiz, second by Commissioner Sheehan. Is there anyone from the public that would like to testify on this matter? Discussion among commissioners. Hearing none, all in favor of the motion indicate so by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, and so the motion carries, and that is the official business of the Orlando City Council for today.
In the new chambers.
In the new chambers.